not the loan itself that makes a difference in people's lives, it's the purpose for which the loan is provided that makes an impact in people's lives.
We are making a difference by bringing something new to the financial industries in Australia. We're doing something that no one else is doing at the moment.
It's a new way of responding that takes us beyond welfare.
We're helping them become financially included in society, and that also means they're becoming socially included in society, which is what financial inclusion does.
People's lives usually break down incrementally, so slowly over time. That might lead them to end up being reliant on income support from government or on social services.
Here in Brisbane, there's about 1 in 7 people who are not financially included. These are people who can't get access to mainstream banking products.
If we can get in early and prevent that incremental breakdown in people's lives, that will ultimately mean those people are more self-sufficient, that they're more economically engaged because they get the opportunity to continue working. They're more socially engaged, which is ultimately beneficial for our community and its civic nature.
Quite a few people have bad credit references. They go to banks, they've inhibited in things that they want to do. We're trying to get them back on track. So there's a lot of low-income people that have emergency financial needs. If they come to us, we can give them a fair loan on decent terms.
I think it's no secret that the cost of living has been rising for a while now, and a lot of households are finding it difficult to keep up with that cost of living. I think that households on lower incomes are definitely finding it very, very difficult and finding that they have nothing left over for unexpected costs and surprises, and that then has a roll-on effect to their standard of living, their quality of life and how they interact in the society.
A lot of the welfare system is oriented to giving people service and supporting them and providing counselling services, which are really important, but don't necessarily address those economic issues.
What we're trying to do is actually just help people get back into the mainstream financial system.
Fair Finance Australia is a community development finance institution, and our aim is to provide small loans, microfinance loans, to individuals who may be financially excluded from mainstream financial banks and other services. So we would like to give them loans for things that they might need, so in medical emergencies or unexpected car costs or things like that.
The microcredit program will be offering small loans of about $1,000 to $4,000 to people who aren't financially included. These are people that are having trouble getting loans from mainstream financial organisations.
Fair Finance is ultimately interested in the social impact that we can achieve by supporting people to become financially included. We see the finance, the loans that we provide, as a means to an end, not an end in themselves. We would treat everyone that walks through our door as an individual, get to know them, understand their needs, and then to the extent that we can, wrap the loan that we're providing around them as individuals.
Quite a few people think that credit is a human right, and here in Foresters, I personally believe that too, that people should be able to get access to credit.
I was working a number of years ago when I first started at Foresters with a woman who came to the organisation looking for a loan to repair a car. Her car was really important to her because it helped her get her 3 children to school safely, and she was parenting alone. She also used the car to deliver washing around her local neighbourhood after she had ironed it for her neighbours, and that helped her to earn a bit of extra income, and that was really important to her and her family. She would not have been someone who walked into a bank necessarily at all. She felt probably that would have been something she would have got knocked back on. She wouldn't have got a loan from a bank. So getting the loan from us was really important because it gave her a sense that she was credit worthy, that the purpose for which she wanted the loan was also a worthy purpose. She felt good about herself because she knew she could be confident in getting her kids safely to school and that she could continue to run her little business, which helped her earn the extra income. I think in the longer term that probably also built her confidence toward understanding that asking for money for those kinds of reasons is a good thing to do. It's helpful to her socially and economically, and that probably in the future a bank might say yes to her.
One of the really big differences with Fair Finance Australia is that we're just not looking at their financial situation. We're trying to find the appropriate financial outcome that that person wants.
After somebody's made an inquiry about our loans, we would arrange a time for them to meet with us, and then we would take the time to sit down with them and talk about their situation in full.
They just go to the bank, they might just get a loan. Sometimes the bank will say, no, you can't afford it, whatever. What we will do with an individual is sit down with them.
And not just get to know what they need the money for, but what else is going on in their life at the moment. We really want to get a full picture of where that person is at the time.
Go through all their financial stuff. Maybe they just need some better money management rather than a loan. Maybe they do need a loan. Maybe they need a loan that's tailored to meet their requirements. So that's what we will try to do.
We really want to make it a personable service so they feel like they're getting as much help as they possibly can.
Basically, for a Fair Finance Australia loan, everybody is eligible as long as they can pay the loan back. We're looking for people who couldn't get a loan from mainstream financial providers. So if they can, we will just refer them on. I mean, there may be some people out there who just want to avoid the banks. We're not into that. We're trying to get them back into the banking system or banking with credit unions. So we're looking to basically help anybody, really, if it's a worthwhile purpose and they can afford the loan. If they are having trouble getting it somewhere else, then that's the kind of people that we're really looking for. Fair Finance Australia is part of Foresters Community Finance CDFI program.
Foresters Community Finance is a community development finance institution. That's a CDFI, something that's a relatively new idea here in Australia, but in places like the US and the UK, it's a very well understood idea.
Generally, a CDFI is an organisation, really, that's doing community development, and that could be with individuals, non-profit groups, social enterprise.
And CDFIs have grown up, as has Foresters, with a view to filling a gap in the marketplace.
And one good way to think about it is the banks are there to provide financial solutions for profit. A CDFI is there to provide financial solutions for community development.
CDFIs work because they go to places that commercial, mainstream providers of finance won't go. They work because their focus is on making a profit for purpose. They work because they reach out actively into those markets where those commercial providers won't go. So with Fair Finance Australia, we're actively reaching out to individuals. We go and find them and then we support them to become financially included.
I'm really interested in the social impact that we have, because generally speaking, financial exclusion leads to social exclusion.
And what we're after is things that make a difference to someone's life. So we're not really looking for consumer loans where people will just waste the money. We're looking for people who are interested in borrowing some money to actually improve their life.
If we can help somebody become financially included and therefore socially included, we're assisting the whole community. Somebody can then become politically involved in their community, culturally and socially involved in their community.
So it's just not about finance, it's also about the really big, much broader social issues in our community.
The money for Fair Finance Australia comes to us through a unique partnership between the Australian Government, through a government department called FAXIA, and NAB. FAXIA are providing us with the operating capital to help start up this new business unit inside Foresters, and NAB are providing the loan capital to enable us to make the loans. The government capital is really important to us because programs like this would not get off the ground and therefore would not be able to achieve their social outcomes without the support of that government grant funding.
Fair Finance Australia is a profit for purpose program. This means that we will be around in 5 years' time. We do charge interest on loans, but that means that we can be sustainable.
Where we profit from the business and the service we deliver, we turn all of that profit back into the social purpose. So ultimately, the individuals that we're supporting through our business benefit from the profits that we make. The risks for individuals when they take a loan is that we actually provide an extra burden in their life that they can't manage. It would be our objective to do all that we can to make sure that doesn't happen, and indeed the requirements around us legislatively mean that we have to in law. I guess the risk for us is that people don't pay money back, but all the statistics around microfinance point to the opposite thing being true, and that in fact the risk of lending to people on low incomes is in fact in many cases lower than ordinary risks faced by banks. So although the risk is there that money doesn't come back in the door, we think it's a risk worth taking.
If this program were to succeed, more people in Brisbane would be able to escape the poverty cycle.
If from a broader community perspective there was recognition that Fair Finance Australia had created diversity of choice, that would be success.
It's really important, if we're going to solve financial exclusion in Australia, that this program succeeds.
Fair Finance Australia has the ability to really help people and also then to have a ripple effect and help whole communities.
Fair Finance Australia is all about making a difference. We want to make a difference in people's lives.
We're going to accomplish something that's never been done before. People are going to have access to something that hasn't been available to them until now.
We can do it, but we do need support.